This week on True Bloods, we analyse and dissect our disappointing loss to Port Adelaide at the SCG.
But we're full of optimism. It's opportunity this week. We face the Suns on Sunday. Simply must listen, like and subscribe. Let's go, Faithful. Come on.
Jeez, this is the most one-eyed podcast.
It's what we're here to do. There is only one side in this competition. It's game-changing.
It's absolutely game-changing, Deeble.
Riddle me that, Mads.
Yeah, riddle me that, Deeble.
Do you remember? It's what we're here to do.
This is True Bloods, the number one independent Sydney Swans fan podcast, and we are back in the AFL Today Studio to talk about the loss to Port Adelaide, the upcoming clash against the Suns, and everything else Sydney Swans. Joined as always to my left, the one and only Clarko, Madison Clark. How are you, Mads?
Mate, I'm good. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to you and yours. Christos and Esti to all our Greek
brothers
members
and sisters
of the
out there. Absolutely. There's a lamb on the spit out there for you.
Has to be, Deebs. Has to be. Has to be a lamb soother. Mate, not good.
No.
Not good.
Yeah, we can't really paint this one in too much of a positive light, can we? It's
I'm going to try.
Yeah, look, it's definitely not all negative, but I thought that first half was really, really poor.
Deplorable.
And that was the footy that you would expect from a bottom four side. That's the standard that we presented in that first half.
Yeah, and that's the concern, right?
Yeah, it is.
That's the concern. I think when you look at our scoring efficiency, right? 8% conversion from inside 50 entries in the first half.
Yep.
That is abhorrent.
Deplorable.
Let me make it clear that is not up to standard. And that's got to be fixed ASAP. Remember, I said a couple of weeks ago, it's just about fixing the mistakes you make on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah.
Right? We weren't winning the contested footy. We weren't winning clearances. You get a tick in both those areas this week.
Yeah.
Right? So that the concern for me, for yours,
Mads,
is the fact that while we've fixed up those areas, we're still in a situation where it's clear to me that this is fundamentally a personnel issue, and Tom McCartan not being back at the start of the game didn't help, and we can get on to that. But we're still lacking that polish of our ball winners in the middle, delivering the ball into the forward 50 with prowess.
Yeah, it's even that first one out of clearance, isn't it? We just don't have the ball handlers to execute the skills. And this is yes, it is a personnel thing, but I think the personnel that we have in are not executing up to the standard that's required.
Correct.
And I think 80% of the guys who are playing at the moment have it in them to play to a way better standard than what's going on. I've got concerns with the bottom 3 or 4 in our side at the moment. I don't think we're getting enough from them, but it's like, can you hang your hat on to expect these performances out of your bottom 6 players? No, but we know how important that bottom 6 goes to like winning games of footy, and when they just play their role and get it done, it makes a difference. And we're not getting the output from those guys.
But because of the players we've got available, the gap between the top 6 and the bottom 6 shrinks, right?
Exactly right, yeah.
So that's why we always knew this was going to be the case. Now, you don't want to play football like you did in that first half, but we knew we were going to have to weather a storm here, right? And we've had news from the Swans HQ tonight saying that Logan's going to have a setback as well. So that's a reality that we're going to be faced with, where we're just plugging holes. Yep. We're plugging holes. But you're right. The first half especially, it's not acceptable.
Nah, it's absolutely not acceptable, and we need more from these players, because we've talked about it all year, Mads. The goal for us was to keep the wins and losses as close to each other as possible. We're 2-4 now, and that can get away from you really, really quickly. We have to snag one of the next 2. If we lose both these upcoming games, we're in a lot of strife. Is it season over? No. but it makes it a whole lot harder if we can't find a way to sort of rectify the issues going on. And it sort of starts, look, I know you've been really concerned with the form of Chad Warner, one of an All-Australian last year, goal-kicking midfielder last year. It's just not quite happening for Chad. How do you see the Chad and what's going on with his game?
Yeah, it's just injecting himself into the game. He's fundamentally a match winner. And that's what I thought, he was once again primed to just tear the game open in the final quarter like Haynes did. And I just thought there was an opportunity for him to just go those two, a la the semi-final against GWS. We're saying it again this week. I just thought there was a really big opportunity for him to stake his claim on the game. I don't know whether he's just not being played in the middle. Do you have the CBA numbers? Do you know how often he was being played in the middle?
No.
I think that may be a part of it, but that's no excuse. I mean, I think he would have the license to just inject himself where required.
When required, yeah.
And he's just hasn't been effective. He's been getting the touches, but it's just hasn't been the Chad Warner that we know and love.
Yeah, and just probably not enough of that explosiveness out of contest and hitting up. His ball use is really poor on the weekend. I think he went at just over 50% with his 20-odd touches. That you need slightly better going than that for the Chad. But, yeah, it's when you don't have the Chad impacting games like we need him to, it starts to fall away with that midfield group, I feel. And I think Haynes has been doing his job. He was good again on the weekend. Once again, only sort of having just over 20 touches.
He disappeared in the sort of second quarter and most of the third, right?
Yeah.
He was a non-factor completely. So he would have gotten read the right act by Dean Cox at 3/4 time, I would imagine. And then he would have said, look, if we're going to get over the line here, you're going to need to be doing your job, doing, sort of the bare minimum back of the football card stuff, because he was a non-factor.
Yeah.
He was a non-factor. So, it's tough like that. And then you sort of see the way we were entering inside 50. We know what we've got down there. You've got Radaglia. You've got Alia. Right?
Yeah.
You know that's what you're up against. And to just continually bomb in every single time, I mean, it can't be that difficult to go, hey, lead out, I'll hit you on the chest.
Yeah.
Have a look for that option. And I know it's not just the midfielder's fault. There's just that connectivity between the forwards and the mids just isn't there.
Yeah, and then this is what it gets amplified even more when you've got Tommy swinging back, swinging forward. But we had to swing Hamling forward to try something new because, that Tommy was so out of form. You could just see it. And look, he started to look a little bit better once he went back, took a couple of grabs, but still he was just dump kicking out of the back line when he went back there. I don't think he looked overly great when he went back there. But
I mean, structurally, we looked at C with him not down there, even with Malikan back there with a few more games of experience. McCartan's the guy, right?
Yeah.
McCartan's a general. He needs to be down there. And it's about continuity, as you said.
It's the intercepting,
yeah.
right? That's what Malikan probably doesn't bring to the game yet. He's good at locking down a man, probably needs to work on that intercept game. But we saw it even when Tommy went back. I think he had 1 or 2 intercepts, and that's what we need. And look, we saw the coming of Aaron Francis being injected into the game.
Big Aaron Francis guy. Wow.
Did you think Aaron Francis had a 14-touch 3-goal quarter in him?
I didn't, but it reeked of Nick Davis at points then.
It did.
It reeked of Nick Davis. So I was thrilled for him to come on, as we say, limited opportunity, limited continuity in his football, comes on and almost drags us across the line single-handedly. That's good.
You saw it with the ball movement there when we started to get going in that last quarter. Even the long kicks inside forward 50, they were to the advantage.
Yeah.
You could see what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
It's even that smarter kick where Francis took the uncontested mark about 40 metres out.
Yeah.
That was to space. Had the opportunity to lead into it and,
That was Chad, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember who put it in.
I think it was Chad.
Yeah, it was a smarter kick.
But where is that for the rest of the game?
Up until then, mate, how many intercepts did Radaglia have?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It wasn't Alia that I thought really killed us. It was Radaglia. it was just so frustrating, and we need someone to be able to calm their heads and, take that extra kick, slow the game down, because we'll be patient as supporters if we're trying to find those kicks inside 50.
Yeah.
You'd nearly rather that average turnover that you see inside 50 than the continual bombing, because the intent is there to try and find a target rather than just bombing it in.
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. And this is the point. You got to be scoring more than 8% of the time when you go inside forward 50. And that's where the game's won and lost, right?
Well,
because you've got the ops. You've got the inside 50s. You've got the clearances. You've got the hard ball. You've got contested footy. You've got clearances. Didn't have tackling, though. This is the other problem.
Yeah.
It's like we're fixing some areas and letting other areas go by the wayside. But if you're winning that much ball in the middle, you really shouldn't be losing the game, Deebs.
You go through all the stats and it's like, how did we lose this one? But I did think they swung big time in our favour in that second half. It was a real average game of footy in that first half. But when you get 61 inside 50s and you're just not able to put on a score, it makes me go to that word clunky.
Yeah.
It's so clunky going inside 50. And like, how do you see it moving forward selection wise? Do you see Aaron Francis holding down a spot in that forward line?
I'll tell you what we need to do as a supporter base is we just need to pump the brakes. Aaron Francis, don't expect that out of Aaron Francis
100%.
every week. You can't expect miracles in that regard. Is he a formidable forward option? I think so. Absolutely. We've always sort of said that he's actually quite reliable. He can take a mark. Lord knows we haven't been doing that a great deal, Deebs. Haven't been taking a lot of marks. I've been dropping a lot of marks, in fact, in the goal squad. Like, it's just unfathomable. Like, we could have fundamentally won that game.
Oh, yeah. I had the opportunities, mate.
Can I just say something about Tom McCartan?
Sure.
People talk about the experiment being over. It's not an experiment for, pardon my friend, shits and giggles, Deebs. It's an experiment born out of pure necessity.
Yeah.
Like it's just because we don't have the available players to be able to sort of, just go with the flow.
Yeah.
You need to make other choices. Like the media make it out like it's just something that we're steadfast on doing, and that it's the worst move ever, and that we've got to stop it. It's like it's out of necessity.
Yeah. Oh, mate, we're trying to drive home that narrative, but there's a lot of smart football people who we talk to on the regular who have of this opinion too, right?
Yeah.
It's like these are going to be the same guys that if we chuck Hamling forward, they're going to say, the forward entry, we've got no one to take a mark. We've got Hamling forward. It's like, well, we're trying things. It's out of necessity.
Yeah, correct.
Right? It's
correct.
It's a very frustrating narrative. I agree with you, but it's like, does Tommy need to stay back? Maybe.
Well,
but
no,
it's
I think he does, but this is the thing. We've unearthed an option, and the match committee would look at that and go, okay, if they didn't think of it before, Aaron Francis is now a viable option up forward.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's going to be the move.
Yeah.
And Tom McCartan will be staying back.
Yeah.
I can guarantee
that's
you that.
what I think will happen as well.
And that's fine. That's fine. But we've got the other option here. We don't need to move him. Do you move Hamling? I don't know. But Doss did his best.
Mate, Doss was phenomenal.
Doss did his best.
Doss was phenomenal. Yeah, that game would have been lauded if he kicked 4 goals too.
Why the chest marks though?
I don't know.
Why the chest marks?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't have the answer for you. I don't know. It's frustrating, isn't it?
Just the jumping, and you've got someone right on your hammer.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's frustrating, and just the moments. The moments is what we lost on the weekend.
Yep.
It's just, you had the Chad running inside forward 50, open goals, kick the goal, Chad. You got the Doss dropping one over his head. Or was that a chesty as well?
No, that was there.
Yeah, it was right in front of him. You kicked that, 2 points, scoreboard pressure. They were capitulating.
Mate,
Port
if
Adelaide.
we kick that goal, we win.
We win, man. And then there's that.
Lizard.
The Liz. Oh, the Liz.
Liz.
Oh.
Liz.
Oh, my God. How?
Don't pull your kicks, Liz.
Yeah.
Kick the goal, Liz. 3 of them.
In the space of 20 minutes,
yeah,
man.
it's not good.
It was nuts. I've never seen anything like it. showed that our game was starting to get going though is like when you got the Liz running inside forward 50, your structures are good, and just not being able to get one of those three, it's just like so frustrating. But I'm a big one for not absolutely kicking the can down the street with these guys missing their opportunities, right? We expect better, but I'm not canning McLean for not kicking his goals, right? Does he have to be better? Yes. Lizard, does he got to be kicking these goals? Absolutely, but at least they're getting the looks.
Well, you're not dropping them for it.
No,
but, I mean, to me, this is why I'm not really panicking about this, and I implore the faithful to not really panic either, because it's clear to see what's wrong. This is not effort related. This is purely there's areas we need to get right, and we know those areas, and we've shown that we can get those areas right. We were nowhere with contested footy and clearances. Nowhere. It was awful, hard to watch, and now we go out and win against an incredibly hard and talented midfield.
Yeah, that midfield battle. It's what was it? The contested ball count was like plus 25, right? Huge discrepancy in that area. Do you think the tackle number that we saw in that first half, I think it was only 19 odd tackles, is that related to being first to the ball a little bit?
Perhaps.
There is a bit of that comes into games sometimes. That's why I'm
not totally concerned about that either.
Yeah. I haven't heard it myself, but I heard Roosie sort of come out and whacked us in the media.
Now, Roosie.
Interesting.
Yeah, Roosie. It's just the way it looked to me, what he was saying is, we've moved away from our DNA. Well, I mean, Roosie, really, we moved away from that DNA 4 or 5 years ago. Right?
That's what we said last week.
This isn't Adam Schneider and Paul Bevan and Eamon Buchanan out there, Roosie. All right, we haven't played that brand of football for a long time. It's got to be there. There's no doubt about it. It has to be there. But I mean, to say we've moved away from our DNA, we're very clear about what our DNA is now, and that is we are elite at skills, elite, and we just don't have the players required to, I guess, make that as successful as it possibly could be. Yeah. But, I mean, our DNA is different now, right?
It is. It's exactly what we were talking about last week.
Yeah,
and
correct.
look, it's hard for me to comment. I haven't seen the whole snippet.
But he raises valid points.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be, I mean, I think we remain hard at the footy. I think Rowie played really well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the situation hasn't changed for mine.
Like, yours.
We're still in a scenario where we're trying to do the best with what we've got.
Yeah.
And you do need your bottom six stepping up a little bit. And Aaron Francis, did that in spades on the weekend. But I'm not throwing the towel in when I can see improvements being made in areas that we needed to improve upon.
To address. Yeah. Exactly right.
Been
very impressed with the form of Brodie Grundy last 3 weeks.
Wow.
It's quite a turnaround, isn't it?
It is.
And it needs to be applauded.
It does. It definitely needs to be recognised and acknowledged, because this is a guy. I mean, I was saying it, Deebs. I'm like, I don't think he can do the job anymore.
Yeah.
Can't get around the ground. And that's all he's doing at the moment.
Yeah.
All he's doing is the elite around the ground work, the follow-up work that is the reason that he's lauded as a ruckman.
And the consistency is what we love. It's 3 weeks back to back to back. And, mate, if we didn't have Brodie Grundy, doing his work in there, I'd tell you it would have been a hell of a lot different than the last few weeks and how we look at it.
How did you find JJ?
Look, soundly beaten again, right?
Different role. Off halfback.
Yeah. But look, they were their nearly two best players on the ground, Butters and Rosie.
Yeah.
Did we get beaten by what we know? Madison Clark.
Well, I mean, we tried.
It's not
like we didn't try.
Yeah.
But we did get beaten by what we know, Jared. That's credit to Port.
Yeah.
Tore us up through on turnover.
Yeah.
When you have sloppy skill errors, midfields like that damage you.
Yeah, they do.
You know?
And the ability for them to go to end 2 or 3 times, get over the back, kick those few easy goals when, you know, we were sort of starting to play some better footy. And
especially in the first minute of quarters as
Yeah.
well. Rioli, Mead, Georgiades.
Yeah. There was some easy goals.
Yeah.
And
I think a lot of that was to do with the fact that we'd had a shake up in our back six.
Yeah.
Malikan hasn't played a lot of footy.
Yeah.
Tom McCartan's not there. Hamling's still, for a 2016 premiership player, I would consider him quite green when it comes to AFL footy. You know, like he hasn't played a lot of footy. So you're doing the best with what you've got, and we just have to eke out a win. And I reckon it'll be this week, and we'll get into that in the preview. But I reckon we'll win
for sure. We saw Tommy Hanley not being able to impact the game for probably the first time in the first 6 weeks. Got subbed out, didn't get near it, 3 touches, not quite what you need. But he's nearly a guy who's one of the first selected because we just don't have that small forward press.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see him holding?
Yeah, he's a walk-up start. Who else can do the role?
Yeah, it's like, I think they're sort of channeling Cleary into that forward pressure role.
And they can, but I reckon you still need 2 of those players.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm sticking
You're
fat
not
with-
putting Slick Wicks back there.
No.
You know?
And I think he's doing it. He's been pretty consistent up back.
He's fine.
Down back. Now, faithful. It's funny when you go hard on something and then you start actually opening your eyes, opening your ears, and you have a look at what other people, how they are in their lingual sayings, and you try to drive something home that's just wrong. Sometimes you've got to concede. And look, I'm going to try really hard to say down, back, and up forward.
That's right.
But I don't know how good it's going to be, but I'm conceding. I was wrong, faithful. I was wrong.
We're a big accountability pod.
We are.
And
it's all about having the ability to put your hand up and say, Madison Clark, I was wrong. I was wrong, Mads.
The second best ability after availability is
accountability.
That's right,
very
Dave.
good. Big sayings pod as well. So very good. Very good. But yeah, it was just a frustrating day out. Wasn't it?
How frustrated do you reckon Cox is?
Oh, well, you could see it coming through on the bench, couldn't you?
I like that he was on the bench.
Yeah.
I like that Errol's on the bench.
Yeah, it's good like seeing Millsy in the box, Errol down there. These our players invested. Love seeing that. Do you like the emotion coming out from Coxie on the bench? Because it was pure frustration.
Well, I would say horses for courses, but I think it had an impact in the way we came back. We had no right to be as close as we were.
100%.
So I think that obviously had a positive effect rather than a negative one.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I think if you end up getting blown out, then you go, well, maybe you should have gone up into the box if you're going to crack the shits.
Yeah, it's sort of, could be perceived to cause chaos, right? And it's like, is the coach fumbling under pressure type thing, the showing and venting the frustrations. But
well, we were down by 5 goals and we lost by just over a goal. So I would say,
it had the right impact.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And it's I think it was just through pure execution, right? And look, we'll talk about it in the social seg too, but
it's going to come good. I'm telling you, Deebs.
It's not that far off.
It's
and look,
fine.
do I think Port's a really good side? I'm not too sure.
They're better than people think, though.
Yeah.
It's early. What is it, round 6?
It's so early.
Yeah.
So early. But you just got to stick fat. We saw our best footy was good enough, and that's with limited personnel. But we just need to get the consistency into our game and be able to get our bottom 6 playing a little bit better. The impact from your Caden Clearys. I think Braden Campbell's got a lift. He's someone that's got to come to the party.
How was he getting caught?
Yeah.
That was when the game was in a balance.
Running back inboard. It's like you knew he wasn't running flat out either. And it's like, it's just the awareness factor.
BC, you're not the only one on the ground.
Exactly right. Look, McInerney gets another game into him. Good to have him back.
He'll come good.
He'll come good.
The shot that he had in the last quarter, it's just sometimes his kicking style frustrates me.
Yeah,
when it comes off, it does. Beautiful.
Mate, he was our best kick inside 50 last year and one of the best in the comp. But yeah, I know what you're saying with the style. This is Juzzy. But yeah, mate,
it's good to have him back, and he will benefit from the game time and he will. I think he'll be one of the guys to really get us going in the next couple of weeks because he's going to get some fluidity and continuity back in his game. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
This is
Juzzy, and the consistency out of Biasy. Heaney's doing his job, and Liz for not kicking the 3 opportunities he had. He had a lot of the ball, and thought he was quite good as well.
I mean, that's such an unlikely thing to happen. That doesn't happen again.
I don't think so. He's pulling off one of them.
He pulls them off all the time. That's his bread and butter. That's what it's so confusing. That's why it's so frustrating because that is
the expectation.
That's exactly what he's made to do.
Yeah, it's what we're here to do.
It's what we're here to do.
But
yeah, no, mate. Look, don't panic, Faith.
No panic.
Don't panic. Don't panic. It's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. When you do, what are we, 2 and 4?
2 and 4.
It's not fine, Faithful, but we're doing the best with what we've got. And you can't just expect to beat a Port Adelaide side. I mean, ladder, people say you are what your ladder position says you are. I don't necessarily think that's the case at the moment with a lot of teams. The fixture's been a bit weird. You've got the opening round. You've got gather round. It's still starting to take shape.
Yeah.
And we go up and face, who do we? Gold Coast?
Correct.
In Gold Coast. I'm licking my lips at that.
Opportunity, right?
Licking my lips at that, Faithful, because that is a team that we can beat. And that's a really good statement to go and beat them on their home deck. And as I said, we have still got the talent on the park to kick a winning score. There's no doubt about that. We've just got to get everyone borrowing videos from the same Blockbuster, borrowing weeklies from the same Blockbuster. I cooked that one, but you know what I mean? Singing from the same hymn book, Deebs.
Yeah, exactly right.
Put an Easter flair on that one.
And that's it. And just getting some continuity into the guys, playing some continuity in that structure, not having to fling the swing man every week.
Yeah.
And, hopefully we can, touch wood, the injuries stay away for a little bit. And we can just try and get some consistency in our play. And I think that'll come off. And you know what they say, Mads? Form is temporary, class is forever.
Forever.
We know what Chad Warner can produce. Everyone wants to whack him, say we're not getting enough out of the Chad. And Chad would be the first one to put his hand up and say, I'm not playing how I want to play. But you back in your best plays, you stick fat by your boys, and you back them in to get the job done. And that's what we got to do. We stick fat, Faithful.
Welcome back to True Bloods. Nice different setup tonight, isn't it, Deebs?
Yeah, I'm nice and comfortable.
Yeah, it's good.
I can get a bit stiff in the old little chair.
You're a bit like Jared Healy on the old school on the couch.
Yes.
Just over there in the host seat. I like it.
And this is what I need. Like after the weekend that we've all had, tumultuous.
Yeah, tumultuous. Yeah,
big,
wow.
Big lingual pod. I'm really working at it. I'm just getting like sometimes I'm just sitting in the office and a little bit quiet at work sometimes.
You've just got your thesaurus.
I get my
next to you,
thesaurus out and it's like, what can I drop in the pod this week? So it's all about improving. Incremental uplift.
Incremental uplift. Improving on those KPIs.
That's right. Big KPI pod as well. So yes, Mads.
So we've Logan's going to be injured.
Yes. So had a good win against Werribee out of
the former home of the great Riley Bice.
Exactly right. Yes. We might switch over to Catsy quickly. Since we're talking VFL.
Please.
Little quick one.
Hey, it's our pod, Deebs. We can do whatever we want.
We bloody can, Mads. So we'll hear from the great Catsy.
Different format on the hop today, down on the peninsula, enjoying some R&R. Did observe, however, the Magoos had a good win against Werribee, albeit a bit close towards the end. 2-point victors. Jack Buller off the canvas. Finally, get around him. Let's go. It won't be too hard to break into the seniors. Just a quick note across the board. Again, our VFL listed players really putting up the top tier performances. Ned Bowman still to show us what he can do. And bugger me, if Logan McDonald gets selected on his form from this game, then the integrity's not there. He's still a way off. Anyway, chins up the Bloods, up the body.
Yes,
well, he won't be playing.
He won't be playing, yes. In the last sort of hour or so, it's come through that Logan has had a stress reaction in the foot.
Stress reaction?
A stress reaction is what came out of
Is
the
that
club.
similar to hamstring awareness?
Look,
I'm aware of my hamstring.
I will put it in the same family, Mads. I really like to touch up on my medical background.
In the same auspice, perhaps.
Yes, exactly. See, sometimes you've got to stick in your lane, and that's outside my lane, right? But yes. Logan will not be playing footy for a little while.
Sure.
I think stress reaction. If they can't put a timeline on it straight away,
it's a concern.
It's a concern.
Yeah.
Look, and that sort of reads into the output that Katsy mentioned with Logan. I think he only had the 8 touches or so, played out the game. So it's hope it wasn't something that sort of came up in the game and he didn't put his hand up, because he has done that once before in a very important game.
I do recall.
Yeah, so look, hopefully it's not as bad as everyone thinks, but fingers crossed for Logan. But yeah, well, maybe Francis stays sub and I just come out of the square.
I think that's what I'd be doing if I were Dean Cox.
Coxie, I can book my ticket, bruz.
I'd have the under-14 grand final playing in the rooms pre-game and just have Deebs in some tight shorts and maybe medium-sized jumper. Just really
really hug the chest. I have been working on the bench press and he's getting up around over that 100-kilo mark, Mads. So the big barrel chest that you like to talk about,
yes.
It's a possibility.
Now, Ali, the great Ali Habak,
yes,
has come through on the voice notes this week. Now, he's concerned about sort of what we've got in terms of inside balls, and he reckons we're about a forward short. And he's flagged Jamara Ugle-Hagan. Now, there is a lot of talk about this, right?
Yes, I think Buddy mentioned it today on his podcast, which came out today. Have you had a listen yet?
Buddy and Shane, I have.
Sure.
I have.
What do you think?
It's good. It's good. It's a little bit, and I'm sure they'll, if I listen to bloody Tommy and my first episode,
yes,
I'd have a few notes for me as well. But I think it's a situation where it was probably a little bit surface level. But I haven't listened to all of it, but it's just getting comfortable, right?
Sure.
I think they're good together. Shane's good at hosting it, and you see, it's good to hear Buddy's voice again. That's for sure. And you're probably seeing a little bit more of his personality than you ever have when you see him in an interview or anything like that.
Very good.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting.
But
watch.
he did bring up Jamara.
But I mean, I forget who I was speaking to about it. I reckon I have no basis of fact for this. I just know that Jamara will be at the Sydney Swans. I just know it's just one of those things that's going to happen. Like when you get those feelings, you're like, yeah, that'll happen. Do I necessarily want it to happen? No, I'm neither here nor there. I mean, we all know that I've thrown a bit of heat his way before,
yes.
Especially at his debut game.
I do remember a game under the lid at Marvel, and there may have been a bronze cheer or two going around, but I think everyone can see the talent with him.
You can see the talent. I think it's still certainly within our DNA that we can, sort of bring players back around to sort of that professional lifestyle. I know Buddy, probably not the same situation, but Buddy enjoyed getting out of that bubble and being sort of able to live without getting hounded and door stopped all the time. So. But it's just, aside from that, it's the vibe. It's Marbo.
Yeah.
It's the vibe. I just feel like it's just going to happen. So call me Sam McClure, but I'm going early.
Mystic Mads.
They're not going to pick him, Mitch. They're not going to pick him. But
Clarko's early call.
I reckon it's as good as done.
Good as done.
As good as done.
Get him in the red and white.
Get him in the red and white.
It would fix a few issues that we got going on if we could get him up and going.
But as I said, I've got no basis of fact for this, Faithful. No basis of fact.
It's just a feeling.
Just a gut feeling.
It's a feeling in your bloody waters.
Feeling in my bones, Deeps.
Yes, I like it. Go hard. Clip that one up. That one's a good one. But you know what we love, Mads, and we're probably not seeing it enough. Like one of the things we love, scoreboard impact from midfielders.
Right? And social engagement.
But we are getting plenty of social engagement. The socials are going bonkers.
What are we not seeing enough of? Scoreboard impact from midfielders.
Yeah. Exactly right. But we went with hashtag Ask the Faithful.
Yes.
Think Rowy's face says it all. A very dishevelled Rowy on the screen.
Very good quality photo.
It's off the same website. Don't know what happened.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, might just have to wait. Yeah, we'll work that out. Thanks for the whack. Thanks for the whack last week, that guy, whoever that was. Rowy's face says it all. Coxie's reaction on the bench at times screamed frustration, Mads. If you had the call, what changes would you be making? Personnel changes, positional swaps, or is it just simply a case of the current 23 executing to their ability? Best stands to be featured on the pod.
It's a good question.
It is.
Pulled together by a good man in Deebs. Cyril Eilert is in pilot. He does get a run. He does get a run frequently, but it's hard to miss. Do our best with what we've got at the moment. Hopefully Logs and Francis go okay in the forward line. Backs are pretty set. Just need a simple focus of tackle pressure and intensity, and the rest will come. And I mean, this is my point. Incremental uplift.
Yeah.
Not doing it well enough with contested footy. Go away and work on that. We know we have the tenure and we have the skill level and we have the attitude of our entire playing group that we can fix what's wrong.
For sure. Benny Robb.
Yes, Benny.
Great fella, Benny. He says, I think it's gotten to the point where we need big cocks to get a bit angry and fire up the lads. I think we saw that a little bit on the weekend. Yeah. No matter where you put the magnets, you still got to execute with the ball and make the right decisions. After halftime was where we saw the changes in the mentality and speed up the ball movement and carry and made massive impact in getting back into the game.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the thought process I go through. I think it's we can play way better footy with the personnel that we got. I don't think we need to do a big, like we saw at Melbourne on the weekend, drop some big names and, bring in some other guys who and I don't really think there's anyone banging the door down in the VFL.
There's no one else there, Deebs. Everyone else is injured.
That's right. And it's just these footballers are paid to execute their skills, and that's what we didn't get on the weekend. They didn't execute when it mattered. Yeah, we worked hard, and this is where I thought the second half, the endeavour was great. And I I should have worded it a little bit better on that post yesterday because the endeavour in the first half probably wasn't there, but there was a clear shift after half time. And you can pull apart numbers to suit your narrative however you want. You can bring up that tackle number. But I think when we got that speed on the ball and the contested ball was still there, we went inside 61 times, Mads. We're not normally a big inside 50 team.
No. And we're normally pretty efficient because we're not a big inside 50
Exactly
team.
right. And it's just a discrepancy in our game which has to improve.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of these guys who we have executing their skills better. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion.
But
for mine.
As you say, form is temporary, class is forever.
That's it.
So this is why I'm not concerned, because all of this is fixable.
Yeah,
all of this is fixable. And I mean, Daphne Phillips.
Yes,
I agree with Rose. Swans are no longer the Bloods. Daphne. You can say that. Come back at round 15 and let me know if you actually believe that. Because this is Bloods footy. It means something different to everybody. But Bloods footy to me is backs against the wall. What are you going to do to pull yourself up and go again? And that's what we're going to see now.
Yeah.
And we saw that on a micro level against Port Adelaide, because backs were against the wall. We were 5 goals down. We weren't anywhere near it, and we made a game out of it in a very short space of time. Cream rises to the crop, Daphne, and I have no doubt that we will be able to pull ourselves out of this.
That's right.
No doubt. But Bloods footy, like the Bloods footy,
it's like
that is what Bloods footy is to me. It's being able to just figure it out.
Yeah, find a way.
Under pressure, under fire, and find a way to dig yourself out of the hole.
Yeah. And it doesn't waver week to week. It's not like, was it still Bloods footy last year when we were making a grand final?
Yeah, when we were 3 games clear on top of the ladder.
Is it still Bloods footy? Or has it just disappeared in 6 weeks? You know what I mean?
This is my point to Rosie as well. It's like the game has changed.
Look, and it's hard not to be reactionary at time.
Yeah.
It's like, we're invested as anyone in our footy side, and it's hard, watch you set yourself up on the Sunday, Easter Sunday, Mads. You've sat yourself at the pub, you're having a few beers,
chalky eggs.
You're just ready to go, and you want to win games of footy so bad. But look, when you dealt some of the cards that we've been dealt so far this year, you're up against it. But at the same time, all you want to see is effort and willingness to try and get ourselves across the line. And I think we saw that on the weekend.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying let's just pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes here, because the significant issue would be is if we lose that game by 60 points.
Yes, exactly right.
But we didn't, because we're better than that. We've got a better group than that with better attitudes than that. So let's just hold fire on the no longer the Bloods.
Yeah, it's a little bit dramatic.
It's a bit much, Deebs.
It's a little bit much. We need some more Brendan Wickses in our life. I wonder if it's any relation. He says, when they get a fully fit side on the field, the Swans will string together a bucket load of wins. Big strong emoji.
Yes, love it. Linda Dyer. Aaron definitely gets another crack at full forward, and I would move Braden to a wing or give him a go in the middle. If Chad is ill or injured, give him a break. If not, find out what his problem is. It's a fair call. I mean, you can't really give him a break. We're not afforded the availability of players to give him a break, unfortunately.
One thing I'll never subscribe to.
Here we go.
Right? I will never subscribe to the narrative of dropping one of your top 5 players in your side. You back him into the hills.
Doesn't it send a message sometimes, though, that no one's above the law, so to speak?
Well, for sure, but it's not like this is 10 weeks in a row, and this is like it's not as if he's having 7 touches and not getting near it. He's still getting in his hands enough. Is he executing as well as he wants to? Absolutely not, right? But if you think, I don't think Chad Warner is a bottom 5 player in the side at the
No one's
at the
dropping
moment.
Chad. You're not dropping Chad.
I know that, but I'm just the people who call for that. You know what I mean? Get Warner out of the side. What's his problem? It's like, you can be critical of his performance, but how do you just kick your best players to the curb when they're a little bit out of form?
No.
Do you go hang him out to dry? Or do you throw your arms around him and say, let's go, Chad? It's time to lift. I want the Chad playing good footy.
Bloody oath.
Do you want Chad bursting out of packs kicking goals?
I dream of it.
I dream of it, Mads. And you're backing your best players and you stick fat by your boys. And it's not happy clapping, right? It's not happy clapping. You're not saying, it's all okay, Chad, right? But I'm backing him in to turn this round. He's class. And we know...
Class is forever,
We know how good the Chad is. An All-Australian, Mads. Best 22 player in the comp last year. Chad will turn it round. Stick fat, faithful.
Stick fat.
Just don't hang him out to dry. I hate that.
I mean, I get why people sort of hit the panic button. It's hard not to. But I'm enjoying it so much more that it's not a week-to-week proposition for me.
Yeah.
Just like, are things getting better? Yeah, Trent Burton, how about tackling minus 42 for the game to Port's 57? Says lack of effort. When you have 61 inside 50s for 10 goals, there is a lot to work on. And Francis was good, but if he's the option up front, we aren't playing finals. So, I mean, as I said, let's pump the brakes on what we think Aaron Francis is capable of. But let's leave it open that Aaron Francis may be good for 2 or 3 goals a game, which would be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's as much of a possibility as it not working out. So let's just leave the door open for that.
Yeah.
But in terms of tackling, I think you made a good point. Because we were winning, if you're losing contested footy,
yeah,
and the tackles like that probably speaks to effort.
Yeah,
the fact that you're actually spanking them in contested footy, that's a really good sign.
Yeah, and it's I think we slightly won at one game, but that was the first time in a long time that I can remember where we spanked a team in contested ball, and you do see that from time to time when you're first to the ball. Yeah, your tackle count's not great.
Correct,
but I didn't notice it watching. It's not like I thought, we're not tackling hard enough.
Yeah,
that's not what I took out of the game.
Alan Lau.
Lowy.
It's a system thing that is being let down by a lack of personnel. We're still playing like Goulden, Papley, McDonald, et al. Are still in the team. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We should be moving the ball slower into forward 50 and looking for leading targets. The big forwards are jumping for the small ball, and for some reason the smalls aren't at their feet. For mine,
For yours.
Oppo rebound 50s are killing us and probably the main thing we need to address. That's a very well thought out comment, Alan.
Yes,
and
good Lowy.
yeah, the scores on turnover absolutely smacking us.
Yeah.
And that's a good point. You saw bloody Rioli and Palpepper at the feet of Georgiades
Yeah.
all the time. We
It's
just
the
don't have
focal.
that.
It's the focal point, right? It's we probably don't know where the ball's going. You know, it's being predictable in when you're a forward line player. You got to know where the ball's going to be going. So it's a natural movement to the feet of our talls, and
Yes.
hopefully with Az coming in, big Az, the man, big Frank.
Big as a big Aaron Francis guy.
Huge Aaron Francis pod. We've been big on him for a long time. Big on him for a long time. But like, with all due respect, right? That first VFL game out at Victoria Park against the Pars.
Against the Bars.
The Wussy Boy Pars.
Yeah, Wussy Boy Pars.
He's a big man, Aaron Francis.
Oh.
194 and athletic build. So
Top 10 draft
yeah,
pick,
we
wasn't
have
he?
no choice but to back in these guys and hope we get the output. This is a top 5 draft pick who was obviously touted as a youngster, hasn't played, and probably had the career that he thought he was going to have, but he still finds himself on a list with an opportunity, Mads. Dare I say it, a massive opportunity. He could announce himself.
Could. Next man up, faithful. That's what the mentality has to be. And that's what it will remain until we get Cattle back. And everybody's got to do their bit. Everybody's got to do their bit. And Aaron Francis did his bit on Sunday night.
Yeah, that's right.
Now,
And
Mods is got put a comment on the Fassa book.
yes.
It's got 19 likes. You want me to read it?
Yeah,
I'm
Mods.
ready to go.
Go
It's
on.
a big one. Couple of paragraphs. Bear with me, Alessi. I think Rolly's face said, "Are there any more big blokes we can try in key positions?" And Coxie looked like he was about to start digging an escape tunnel with his water bottle. Honestly, with half the squad on the injury list, including Errol and Paps, who usually are the chaos, we're basically fielding a team of enthusiastic interns and blokes held together with tape and sheer willpower. It's like trying to win MasterChef with a microwave and a spork. If I had the call, I'd be bringing in whoever's over 185 centimetres fit and can still remember the game plan. Maybe trial Blakey in 8 different positions at once. He's got the legs for it. But really, the current 23 are giving what they've got. Execution is the key. And also maybe a functioning soft tissue. Once we get some soldiers back, we'll be less DIY furniture with missing parts and more actual Swans footy. Until then, deep breaths, ice baths, and blind optimism.
Yes.
Very good from Mods.
Very good from Mods. He put it together a lot better than I could have. But it's of the same narrative, right? It's the execution, and I'm just not one for. I don't think it's an effort thing. I think they tried to will themselves across the line. Just got to get the difference between our best and worst has to become smaller.
Has to shrink. Yeah.
What we saw in that first half is not acceptable, but a lot more of what happened, in the back end of that second quarter and that second half, we were nearly the better side, and we execute. We're like, well, what was it? 27 scoring shots to 20, and we go down by a couple goals. So, yeah, I'm confident that we can turn this around. The key word that we've mentioned a few times today, Mads, is opportunity. That's what we get this week against the Suns.
Bloody oath.
And-
Now, what do you reckon about the one of the faithful? I don't know if he's a True Bloods listener, but throwing the clapper at Aaliyah.
Yeah, I think he's 16. I think the 2 year.
Is 2 years a bit much?
It's a little bit much for mine.
For yours, Deebs. I think it's a little bit much.
And if you had the time and the people backing you, I think you could argue that it sort of half slipped out of the hand.
It didn't even hit him.
It didn't even get over the fence. Like, I think he's sort of gone to, bit of an aggressive swipe, but I don't think he was
He
trying
was
to hit him with it.
frustrated like the rest of us.
Yeah,
I
and-
reckon. I mean, if it was, if he was my age,
Yes.
I'd probably be more inclined to be like, better.
Yeah.
16 years old.
Yeah, it's slap on the wrist stuff for mine.
For yours.
Do we condone it? Absolutely not.
Well, just leave players alone, right? That's real. It's real sort of Collingwood wussy boy behaviour to have a crack at players like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just reckon we went a little bit too hard there.
Yeah.
The SCG.
Where do you stand on booing? Now, it's a very interesting one.
It depends why.
Yeah.
Well, they were booing Jarman Impey.
Yeah, and I'm directing this at the Swans faithful.
Sure.
They were booing
Nick
Paul
Blakey.
Francis.
Oh, right. Okay. Why?
Yeah, that's what I would question. I just don't think if something happens within game, I'm okay with the boo.
That's why there's the boo.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm with that. But I don't think there was any reason to boo Horn Francis on the weekend. I was at the pub, so it was hard to hear
Sure.
a boo through the mic, the speakers, you would call them, Mads.
That's right.
You couldn't hear it through the speakers. But there were multiple callers on SEN today.
Saying people were booing Horn Francis. Interesting. Correct. Yeah, well, I mean, at least they care.
Yeah.
Is one way to look at it.
Yeah.
But
I just don't think that's on.
But I mean, for instance, the Geelong supporters were booing Jarman Impey.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because Jarman Impey got a
ball to the face.
close falcon to the face by Bailey Smith, who, I've got to be honest, Faithful, he's drinking a bit of his own bathwater at the moment, old Bailey. I'm a unique guy. I'm pretty cool. I do things. I just don't know why I'm doing them. Dad, settle down a bit, Bailey.
Yeah.
Settle down a bit, Bailey.
Playing
Playing very well.
Yes.
Playing very well. Just settle down a bit because you open yourself. There's been many before you who have gotten found out doing this sort of attitude.
Yeah. But yeah, look, I know.
You can come unstuck.
We have a lot of Swanee supporters listening to this podcast, and I just don't think that was on the weekend, personally.
Yeah. No, I mean, as I say, if you see that he maybe did something behind the play or something like that,
I think that would have come to fruition. I don't know. But look, it's not the biggest thing to come out, but a talking point.
Well, we'll be up there.
I thought nonetheless.
We'll be up there for the Adelaide game.
Yes.
So we'll.
What's that, round 13 or something like that, I think? End of May.
End of May. Correct.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that'll be good, and we'll sort of, we're still getting the attendance there, which is great.
It is good to see.
It's great. It's good to see that people haven't jumped off.
Yeah. Well, it's a great day out.
Oh, it's a great day out at the SCG.
SCG. Like, did you see when the sun was coming down? They get that really nice.
Stunning.
You would have got the phone out and taken a picture of and put that on your gram, I reckon.
The problem is it never does it justice.
No.
You just have to be there, Faithful,
Take
to
it
enjoy,
in.
take it in, take
Yeah.
in
No,
everything that great city has to offer, including the weather. Let's come back with the preview against the Gold Coast Suns.
We'll be back. Welcome back to True Bloods.
Yes.
Mads, big game.
Big game.
Sunday.
We win.
120.
Don't mind that early game.
Gold Coast.
We win.
Confident.
Don't need to even do the preview. We win.
All right, so Swannies by how far?
They got found out. They got found out on the weekend, and I know we've got it in us. And this is, you're back against the wall, bloods footy sort of stuff.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to happen.
It's that O word, Mads. Opportunity.
Correct.
It's huge. What we're dealing with as blood supporters at the moment, as a footy side, up against it, little bit of adversity, one would say,
which we love. You got to have a bit of adversity so you can enjoy the good times, the fruits of your labour, Faithful.
That's right. It's be interesting to see what the weather up is on the Gold Coast. It was quite hot up in Sydney on Sunday, wasn't it?
See, and that shows how fit we are as well
to run out the game like that. Yeah, Polly brought that up in the chat that Port just sort of went all out in that first half and then ran out of fuel, didn't they?
Well, I mean, they didn't run out of fuel. They had 8 points in the bank, unfortunately.
Yes.
That's
Sunday, 26 and sunny.
Yeah, stunning.
Yeah.
That's our prime weather, Deebs. That's Mykonos.
That's Mykonos.
We're perfect.
A little bit more humidity up there too.
Does JJ go to Mount Rowell?
Yeah, I need a lift out of JJ.
Yeah.
I need a lift.
Yeah. Are you inviting him to the party, mate?
I am.
Yeah.
Invitation, JJ, one of our men here on True Bloods.
Big, one of our men.
I think I'm sending him to Noah Anderson.
Noah Anderson.
Yeah.
Or
Hurts you on the outside more. It's harder to control the contested ball, but would you sort of put the type of player as a Matt Rowell to a Lockie Neal?
yeah, see, I would put him straight to Matt Rowell because I know how close he prefers the guys who are just close in quarters, not running around. That's why, Dacos did him in, right? And Connor Rosey did him in because there's so much more space that you have to make up because they're on the move on the outside all the time.
For sure.
And just being close, at the bottom of a pack, it's a lot easier to blanket someone.
In saying that, I think Matt Rowell is one of the most improved players in the competition.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
He has been.
You've got to pay him the respect.
He has been able to burn players on the outside too. He's had a little bit more explosion out of contest and hurting opposition with his disposals. So they've definitely got some class about him. Don't get me wrong. And the great Took Miller.
Miller
is in some pretty good form. I think he was the highest rated champion data player.
Big Hoynie pod.
Big Hoynie pod. As of last week, he was the highest rated player in the competition.
Yes.
So he's definitely playing some good footy too, and probably getting forward of the ball a little bit more than we're used to seeing. He was their nullifier, their JJ per se.
Per se.
Is that the correct use?
PER.
SE,
there you
with
go.
one of the little things above it. Is that right?
Yes, it's called.
What's that called?
Big accent man, Dable.
Yeah, what is that called? I should know. I've caught him on the hop.
You've caught me on.
Yeah, that's all right. We don't need to know.
It's an accent, but it's not really an apostrophe.
Yeah.
Send it in. You'll whack us anyway.
I'm sure
send
you'll well
it
and
in.
truly let us know. You always let me know when I come undone, They, there.
Hey, you got to have your looks.
Loose as piss.
Loose as piss. Yeah, but some people don't realise you're doing that
gag.
deliberately.
I even did it in my own personal post that I put up.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think people would have got it on there.
Yeah, no.
The True Bloods faithful get it.
It depends.
I just wish the losers piss wasn't so frequent as it was this year. It
And-
tends to be
and
happening a lot.
It'd be sometimes. Do you ever wake up and go, maybe if my phone had a breatho, we'd be able to just get away with this, and people wouldn't know about the losers piss. But
Well, I
it
think
does. It makes a good content.
I think there would be a few of the faithful who would be like, has Deebs played up this weekend?
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit
answer
of
is yes.
There's a little bit of entertainment factor there for mine.
For yours, no, there is definitely.
You just got to build a narrative sometimes.
Definitely.
Mads.
Oh, you have to build a narrative.
Simply have to. No other choice.
You know what? If that makes everybody deals with things in different ways, people, and sometimes losers piss is out there for Deebs.
Yeah, it is.
More often than not.
More often than not. Yeah, exactly right.
But big game for Tom McCartan.
Tommy. Yes.
Massive.
Does he go straight to Ben King?
Who else?
I think it's Ben King.
It has to be.
Has to be. There's a matchup out there for Tommy.
There has to be a matchup out there for Tom, and that will be down back against the great Ben
Correct.
King, who's been playing some great footy.
Leading the Coleman, be close too.
Berserk.
Yeah. Good player though. He's
Good
got
player.
those long levers, but it's a big team effort. You'd be looking for Liz to chop out a little bit. Is Liz one of the magnets we could potentially move to use him a bit more?
Mm-hmm.
This sort of comes into the selection dilemma with Francis. You would think making his way into the 22.
Well, with the news about Logan now, I mean, if people were genuinely thinking that Logan was going to be selected, and now he's just had a setback, it would make no sense if it wasn't Francis in the team.
Yeah.
It would make no sense.
I think he's playing for sure. He's playing for sure. Now I'm just trying to get
But
up.
he can't be sub. He's very lucky, Coxie, because if Aaron Francis hadn't come on and kicked 3 goals, my question would remain, why a key position player? But he proved me wrong very quickly.
Yeah, look, I was not a happy chappy when it came out that he was a sub. It's lucky it came off.
It's just
but
not you're not as versatile, an Aaron Francis. I know he can probably play back and forward. I don't know. I just feel like I want more run in the legs of a sub for mine, Deebs.
For yours. Now, I'm just trying to get up the VFL stats from the weekend.
Oh, that'll be easy to find. The AFL will make that easy for you.
Yeah, look, I found it.
Oh, wow.
Take it down Werribee by 2 points. Now, can anyone in the faithful tell me why that game was played out at Blacktown? Very, very odd.
It's a good question.
Not too sure. Didn't have the answer.
That impact you, did it?
Oh, I just
throughout the Sunday.
Oh yeah, was it Saturday? I'm not too sure, but yeah, it did. I was like, why aren't they out at Tramway? It really did. It did. I lost about 4 minutes of thinking time over it.
Sure, that's a lot.
That's impact.
That's a lot. That's impact.
I even went to Zano, red and white, and he didn't have the answer for me. And when Zano doesn't have the answer,
that's a concern.
That's a concern. So yes, lost sleep over it.
Maybe Catsy'd know.
Catsy. Oh, let's get him on. No. Now, Sheldrick had 26 in the twos. Is this where...
Who are you taking out?
Hamling.
For yours?
I think Hamling makes way.
What do you just say?
Oh, hold on. This guy didn't come up in the chat either. Our man here at the pod, Pistol Pete.
Pistol Pete Laddams.
Shaber.
Yeah, right.
Had 22, kicked 2, and kicked one of the most amazing goals I've ever seen from a ruckman in my life.
I did say
from
that.
Outside 50.
I did say that.
So does Laddams command a spot to go forward? But like, I just don't think Laddams is a forward either. He's a good chop out ruckman.
He's a good chop out ruckman. But I mean, where is a chop out ruckman? Where else do you put him? You put him forward.
That's right. And I just think we saw his forward craft come to the fore in that Collingwood game. Got caught behind a lot. There'll be a lot of people calling for Pistol to come back into the side.
Pistol stocks have just risen
hugely. There's a lot of guys big on Pistol.
Buy Pistol, buy.
But you know what I think I'm doing?
What's that?
Oh, geez, I got close with the selection.
Oh, you did get close.
Yeah, what was the one?
I've never gotten that close.
Obviously missed Francis, and who came out as well? Laddams. We didn't think Laddams was coming out. So that was the one quite got a little bit wrong. But I just think the Hamling's last 2 weeks, subpar.
Yeah.
I think you're dropping him.
Yeah.
And I think Corey Warner goes back to the twos.
Corey Warner?
Yeah. He's in my gun, unfortunately. As much as I love Corey, I just don't think...
What do you think what part of his game is missing for yours?
Simply for mine, not getting enough of it.
Not getting enough of the footy.
You can't, and it's sort of those guys in that position, right?
He's had nine
your
touches.
Clearys, it's your Braden Campbells, it's your Corey Warners. They're the ones who just not getting it in the hands enough.
Yes.
So I think he could be in the gun this week. It's nothing personal, Mads. It's just an opinion.
It's an opinion-based game, Deebs.
That's right. And I think we might see Sheldrick and Laddams come in.
Yeah, Hanley has to keep his spot, right?
Look, he's got a couple of credits in the bank. If he didn't have back-to-back goals of 2 in the last few games, you'd be like, "Ooh, I don't know."
But it's a hard position to fill.
It's the position.
Jeez, we miss Papley, don't we?
It's one of those positions, you're either hot or you're ice cold. And we see it with Paps, but the great thing with Paps, you can chuck him in the middle to get him in the game when he's up and going.
Yeah.
So I think Hanley holds for this week, but on notice, need output. Simply cannot be having 3 touches.
Need 2 goals, minimum.
Goal or 2, yeah. And
2 minimum. 2's not a lot to ask.
No, it's not.
I sit here every Tuesday night. I can ask for 2 goals.
It's not too much to ask.
It's not too much to ask.
But yeah, they're probably the changes. I think Laddams was too good in the twos. He's nearly knocking down that door.
We then become still a bit tall.
That's why Hamling goes out, and then you got. You're going to have Tommy down back.
That's right.
That's right.
That's absolutely right.
You've got big Lewis Malley can get the job done, and Liz chops out. That's how I'm structuring up. Probably Gus.
So Gus coming in. This wholesale change. Gus coming in.
Two changes.
Who?
Laddams and Corey?
No.
Sorry?
No, Corey out, Hamling out.
Correct. Laddams.
And Francis on the field.
Yeah.
And then you're bringing in Sheldrick as sub.
Correct. So there's 3 changes there.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep.
You're right.
It's a lot of changes.
Yeah. Well, you're just, moving around a few magnets.
Just magnets here, there.
We've got to find
You
a
reckon
bit-
Gus in
I think so.
as sub? So I don't reckon he works as sub.
Yeah, we've probably said there's probably merit in what you say there.
Yeah.
Does he need a go on the pill? I don't know. I'm trying here.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Where do you think? Where could you
no,
see
I
it
like
structured up?
the idea of Ladham's in. I like Corey. 9's not enough. 9's not enough. But I don't really think moving him to sub helps either. Maybe he could do with a break.
Yeah, it's interesting. It could be the sub. We've seen that he can do that role.
He can do. He comes on an impact.
It's nearly like a soft drop, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, if you don't come on and kill
warning.
it, you're gone the next week.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But yeah, there's a few to play around there.
Could do that. But yeah, I think you're right, Hamling.
But Sheldrick could have also sort of done his dash and needs a couple
spell.
games in the 2. So I could be off the mark there too. But I don't know, just a little bit more midfield prowess. But
you know who I'm inviting to the party?
Who's coming to the party?
Chadwick.
The Chad. Our guy.
Our
He's our man.
Our guy. We should
Love
have a
the Chad.
bobblehead of him.
We should.
Next week we'll have a. In fact, if he comes to the party, there's a bobblehead out there for us.
There is.
Of Chadwick Warner.
And you see the change we've made this week, Faithful. We've put Heaney right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
So any movement, and he's back off the edge too. You don't. What do they say, Mads? The expecting to do the same thing over and over.
Definition of insanity.
That's right.
Babel.
Yeah, I'll
Doing
never
the
get
same
this
thing
one.
over and over again and expecting
A different result. So I took that on and I've moved Haynes into the middle and far away from the edge. You learn from your mistakes, Faithful.
Incremental uplift.
That's right. And that's what we need from the Swannies this week. It's a theme. Incremental uplift from the mighty Swannies.
Oh boy, I've enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I like this setup.
I feel a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
I feel, look, a little bit
Not hunched over.
No.
You know?
I feel relaxed.
Alessi, good stuff.
It's a stressful game, this podcasting game,
especially when you're 2 and 4,
and it's not all quite going your way.
Yeah, you got to find ways to get comfortable. Stay calm, but get urgent. Simon Goodwin would say.
Very
that
good.
annoyed me that they got to win. Nah.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's
so
good.
Swannies by how far, mate? Sunday afternoon. What's your setup? Where are you watching? You need a game at home. There's got to be a game at home for you.
It has to be. Absolutely a game at home.
It's a
I'm
Sunday.
staying at home.
Now, Faithful, know Madison Clark's routine of a Sunday. He's got to get those shirts ironed.
Got to get those shirts ironed. But yeah, I will chill. I will take it very easy.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done.
Yeah. Nah, confident.
We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done by 4 goals.
3 goals. Yep. 3 goals for mine.
For yours.
I think.
Where are you gonna watch it?
Home.
Home?
There's a game at home for me.
Yeah.
But,
Maybe cook yourself up a steak.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, good.
Definitely celebrate the win with a steak and a vino.
Yeah. Pinot or Shiraz?
Or maybe the Grenache.
Grenache.
Mads.
Oh, is it? Oh, it'll be Grenache hour when it ends.
Well, can we get a weather check on the Sunday? We need a prime.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
I can check.
Yeah, because
let's
it's
have a
really
look.
starting. Once we get into the depths of May and June.
Well, hold on.
I tell you what.
Sunday, 18 and a bit of rain. See, I'm begging for rain at the moment, Deebs. I don't want it to be warm anymore. I want to wear a jumper. I want to wear that red Swannies hoodie.
Yeah.
that they gave
that we
us.
worked really hard for at the live event.
Yeah.
Exactly right. That's
I want to be warm, but I don't want to be too hot.
Yeah, I don't want to be. Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I'm with you. I've only been calling it for 11 months of the year when it's fucking too hot for me. But anyway, very good.
Yeah,
Should we
we're
jump
getting
into
some
the
rain.
tipping, Mads?
Yeah.
Where are you on the tipping?
Nowhere near you, Deeble,
And
because
I
you're
don't-
sitting at 40th.
My shoulders are killing me
Yeah.
because I'm carrying this podcast in terms of tipping. We've got Polly Porridge down the bottom. She's in the 190s, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, wow.
Pushing. She's got the old rowing boat without paddles.
Do you reckon
She's
we can
struggling.
just move Polly to Melbourne?
We could. It'd be very
How do you
handy.
reckon a better half would feel about that? Sorry, you're both just going to have to uproot your lives and come and sit right
You
here.
can only go to 4 games a year because you no longer live in Sydney, and but the pod takes priority. Is there a relocation out there for you, Polly?
Is there a budget removal van out there for you?
Oh, Madison Clark, you are a funny man.
Likewise, mate. Melbourne and Richmond. So hold on. What round is this? So that kicks off round 7, does it? Yes. Okay, I got confused there for a second. Melbourne and Richmond, the traditional Anzac Day Eve encounter, which
yeah, Melbourne for mine.
for yours, I think Melbourne will win as well.
Yes.
Yeah, good on them for getting a win. Lord knows they needed it.
They did. Anzac Day.
Anzac
Friday.
Day. I think I'll get there with Gotsis.
Very good. Pie in the sky.
Yeah, pie in the
Good
sky.
to see him not up in the leaderboard in the tipping.
Struggling.
But I think his boys might get it done.
They will get it done.
The Pies.
Always closer on Anzac Day, so we'll see.
That's right.
Fremantle and Adelaide.
Interesting game.
Adelaide
for mine too.
Yes.
I'm surprised they're the outsiders.
Yeah, that's weird.
Saturday afternoon football under
120.
Under the lid.
120 on a Saturday.
St Kilda and the Brisbane Lions looking to bounce back.
Brizzy, you're going to pump them.
Yeah, Saints are an interesting footy club, aren't they?
Infuriating as a supporter.
Imagine supporting them.
Infuriating.
They could pull out these performances every now and then.
They make you believe. It's the hope that kills you, Deebs.
Oh, man. Couldn't imagine.
No.
Port Adelaide and North Melbourne.
Port Adelaide.
Comfortably.
But North are, funnily enough, in a lot of strife.
Oh.
In a lot of strife.
My God. Imagine.
See, this is the difference. This is the difference with us. And this is why I'm not panicking. Do I have to say it again, Faithful? Incremental uplift.
Yeah.
Limit the damage. Do what you need to do.
That's right.
Squeeze out a win.
Yeah.
Just get a win.
Yeah.
Do anything you can. Do not get beaten by 10 goals.
That's right.
Don't get beaten by 10 goals.
It's demoralising. Yeah. And then this sort of gets back to the point of last year, you know, when we went through that patch of footy.
Yes.
It's like we spoke about it a lot. We just don't really get blown away like that too often.
No.
So it's touch wood, back in the boys.
GWS and Western Bulldogs.
Are the Giants as good as we think?
I don't think anyone's as good or as bad as we think, to be
Never
honest.
as good as it seems, never as bad as it seems, Faithful.
But like you can't get who can you get a read on? Collingwood.
I'll tell you who is just so bloody impressive. And if I was a dog supporter,
yeah, it's gutsy.
I would be fretting around every day that goes past is the Bont hasn't re-signed with the Dogs.
He will.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
But how impressive is that? 7 weeks, whatever he was out with his calf, comes in best on ground.
Yeah.
30-2.
Yeah.
Like, what a player.
Yeah.
Up the Bont. Big Bont guy.
Big Bont guy.
Big Bont guy.
I can't stand any of that team.
Yes.
Despise them.
I know. But you got to... that's
credit
great.
where credit is due, Deebs.
The Bont is nearly greatness.
Not from me.
That's how good he is.
Bugger him. Hate them.
Yeah, me too. It's just a personnel thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I love the Bont.
So would you pick Western Bulldogs over there?
I have.
Wow.
That's the upset. Swannies, we know we flog them. Sunday, Carlton and Geelong.
Geelong.
That's right. I think I tend to agree. And the Hawks at Marvel against West Coast.
Yeah, Hawthorn will comfortably win that.
That's right.
Alessi. Big Hawks
Big
girl.
Hawks girl. That's it.
Hey, Dimmer Hardwick's flog. How's that? Imagine just clipping a politician in your press conference after getting done at Marvel again.
I'm off the pace with
You're
this
not
one.
across this.
I'm not across it.
He just inserted himself into the Noah Bolter discussion.
Oh, sure.
And just advised Jacinta Allen or Katie Allen? Jacinta Allen. She's our premier.
Yeah.
Jacinta Allen.
Yeah.
Advised Jacinta Allen to sort of focus on the state and get out of football. I've got news for you. Noah Bolter assaulted someone, Damien, and you lost again at Marvel. So cop that.
Just say shouldn't be brought up.
Stay out of it.
Yeah. If you got the dub, maybe.
Yeah, if you got the dub, you can do what you
Yeah,
want.
exactly
You got beaten again at Marvel. Again. by a team that wasn't supposed to win a game.
Sure. Yeah, they got that. So, hey, this is a nice little leveler. We're even on wins with the Tigers.
Yeah, that is.
2 and 4.
That brings you back down to earth, doesn't it?
It does. But at the same time, when you really read into what's going on, I don't think we're
We're
far
not
off
that
either.
far off, faithful.
Yeah, that's right.
Stick fat.
That's it. All right, that just about wraps us up,
It
Mads.
certainly does, Deebs.
It's been good. It's been real. Just
Been
hasn't been
fantastic.
real good on field, but that's okay.
That's fine.
coming back.
As long as we can incrementally uplift
That's right.
ourselves, hopefully the club goes with us, Deebs.
That's it.
That's all we can ask
That's
for.
all we can ask. But
This
this has been
True Bloods.
the number one independent Sydney Swans fan podcast. We are number one in your hearts. We're number one on the charts. We're speaking words of wisdom. Up the potty.